Good afternoon and welcome everyone to Xccelerate 21 Pitch Day. My name's Toby Norton-Smith. I'm the Managing Director of X15 and we're really excited to be bringing you the final event in our third program and this event being the final pitches to find out which of the participants in our program are the winner of this year's Xccelerate. I want to begin actually by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we meet today or you are joining us from. Personally, I'm beaming in from a very locked down Balmain in Sydney, which was the traditional land of the Gadigal people. I pay my respect to their elders, past, present and emerging, and I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today. More broadly, thanks to all of you for joining us this afternoon. I really wish we could be doing this in person, but despite not having that Shark Tank vibe and no live demo risks that many of you are probably familiar with, this event has just as much importance to us as any other. The theme of this event and the ventures you're about to hear from is reimagining the retail experience. And that's a theme that really matters. It matters to businesses. Online and omni-channel retail, it's the new normal, and we all understand the impact the pandemic has had on the way consumers and businesses interact. We know particularly that retail businesses are in need of new solutions and new innovation. So I'm excited to see, what we can do or what one of these ventures can do. This is a theme that matters to customers, particularly emerging consumers, Gen Zs, younger consumers who actually browse and buy very differently. And we need to recognise that and sort of find new ways to bring things to them. And ultimately this matters to us, this theme. The winner of this event, just as a reminder, will have the option to accept a $150,000 safe note from X15 because we want to invest in and scale one of these businesses through the X15 model. So let's get into it. Today's agenda, we're going to be hearing from the 5 final startup teams before we then deliberate. Those teams all know who the judging panel is today. So we're going to be quite brief. You'll probably see we're quite abrupt and brief on introductions to each of the individual ventures so that you can gain as much time hearing from those ventures and hearing the questions that we'll put to them. Once we've been through those 5 ventures, that is it for the event. We won't announce the live winner in this event. We'll take some time as a judging panel to deliberate and then we'll announce the winner first thing tomorrow morning. So that's the agenda and we will get into it. And I would love to introduce the first venture today, Bramp. And I'll put the challenge out to all of you on the call to work out where the name Bramp comes from. But to give you a bit of a clue, brand is, such an important part of any new business. I think a lot of startup founders candidly obsess and think a lot about their brand and their name, but they actually don't have the expertise or the budget to combine strategy, design, and marketing to build a brand that really makes a difference. Benny and Joe are rewriting that and rethinking about how SMEs can build out their brands. So I would like to welcome Benny and Joe. Are you on the line?
Thanks, Toby. We are on the line.
Benny and Joe, welcome. I think you know us. You know the format. We are going to immediately fly into your pitch and then questions. See you on the other side.
Toby.
Hi, my name is Benny and I'm super excited to introduce you to Bramp. Bramp is a smart and affordable branding solution for startups and SME. We are on a mission to make strategic branding tools accessible to every budget and revolutionize the branding industry. In 2021, nearly every market is digital, global, commoditized and highly competitive, so companies have to stand out. That's why branding is more important than ever. As part of the marketing and graphic design industries, the branding space is being disrupted by a huge number of marketplaces, template platforms and design tools. These are all growing at an incredible rate, while traditional agencies are struggling to stay profitable. Canva has more than tripled their valuation in the last year, while WPP, The world's largest agency group has lost half of its market cap since 2017. Additionally, businesses now spend an average of 27% of total marketing budgets on MarTech, an industry now valued at over $120 billion US. This revolution has created a new problem for founders: overwhelming choice. A plethora of shiny new solutions that all solve specific tasks really well, but which ones do you actually need? To build equity over time, all brand elements have to be strategically connected and aligned. As a founder, you're usually not a marketer or a branding professional. How do you navigate this mess? It's extremely time-consuming, confusing, and often leads to bad solutions. The wrong brand can mean never connecting your great product with an audience. The result? Lost revenue and failed businesses. This is where we come in. Brand looks at brand building in a holistic and long-term way. We connect strategy, design, and marketing into one powerful tool. We have productized a collaborative strategy workshop to lay a brand's foundation. Our smart design tools empower non-designers to make educated decisions based on strategy and build a brand's visual identity system. We automatically generate guidelines and host all created assets. We also automatically generate marketing resources tailored to each customer based on their strategic foundation. It's all controlled by our brand management dashboard that will help with compliance and track success. The next wave of disruption is just about to happen. Traditionally, the brand consultancy model has been human labor intense. We will build an agency-level product purely based on SaaS. This is possible through recent advancements in the field of AI. Our pricing model is a tiered SaaS subscription with additional streams of income. It gives us a conservative average value per customer of $624 in year one, and with a 33% yearly churn, a lifetime value of over $1,700. There are no numbers on the branding spend of SME, so we're calculating our market size bottom up. With our conservative revenue per customer of $624, we're looking at a serviceable addressable market of over $3 billion across Australia, the US and the UK. If we capture only 3% of that market, we will generate a revenue of over 90 million. And again, this is purely based on Australia, the US and the UK and completely ignores the huge European and Asian markets. So who's the team behind this revolutionary technology? I am Benny Weller, founder and CEO, a creative director branding with intimate industry knowledge from over 15 years experience building and guiding global brands. My co-founder and CTO, Joe Matthew, is an award-winning developer and UX enthusiast with over 13 years technical experience in consumer and enterprise apps. And our senior advisor, John Kurzweil, is a brand strategist and creative copywriter with over 20 years experience across SME and corporate blue-chip clients. We are also an Antler portfolio company, which gives us access to Antler's global network of advisors, investors and startups. We'll go to market with a two-tiered approach. Tier 1 is a digital strategy that consists of a mix of targeted Facebook ads, paid media, an affiliate program, and content in channels like YouTube. Tier 2 focuses on tech-savvy startups as early adopters. Incubator programs and co-working spaces are the perfect multiplier. Where are we at? We've built the first iteration of our strategy workshop and have run and tested it with 16 teams with extremely promising results. We've concluded build phase 1 and are now implementing our learnings. We've also started building the first design tools and we're experimenting with AI. Our plan is to launch a closed beta in about 2 months, while we're aiming for a full product launch by May-June 2022. Your investment will contribute to our 500k pre-seed round that'll kick off in October. This round will give us an additional 18 months runway on top of the 12 we currently have in the bank. It'll allow us to hire a front-end dev, a machine learning engineer to build our AI capabilities for a full product launch mid-next year and will comfortably get us to our seed round in August. Brand is the branding model of the future. Strategic, efficient, long-term and affordable. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys. Just testing, we've got you live now.
Yep, we're here.
Benny and Joe, we're going to throw you straight into it with a very experienced marketer in Janie Martino has a question.
Hi, Janie.
Hi, Benny. Hi, Joe. Yeah, congrats. This is a sweet spot for me and really love your model and the way you're presenting the business. It's really exciting. So, look, great presentation. I just wanted to pick up on the business model in a bit more detail. I think you explained most components really well, but there was an affiliate referral reference in there as well. So I just wanted to dig into that a little bit further in terms of like, who are you identifying as ideal affiliates? Because that can obviously be powerful over time. And do you want to explain as well how you see that sort of building revenue and lifetime value in terms of the business model overall?
Yes, thanks. That's a great question. So obviously we're keeping it a little bit light because this is completely public. So I have to be slightly superficial. But in general, how it works is that we're building an engine that's because we know so much about you and we've learned so much about these businesses in the strategy workshop and the onboarding and in their design. And we kind of essentially we're the guardians of their brand because we know so much about them. We can connect them with the perfect resources to roll out whatever they need. Because in the end, the brand creation process, it starts from things like SEO and it goes all the way to things like CRM systems. But it's also kind of the simple things you need day to day. Like in content creation, you might just use a stock photo provider. And all of these solutions, in the end, there are great platforms out there that have built APIs, and you can tap into those. And because we can become that that single source of truth for your brand, and we can essentially create tools that allow us to keep you on track, and apply filters so you can only kind of essentially use the right assets and use the right solutions which are right for you based on what we think your brand should be like. Yes, we can connect to the right resources. Is that clear?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Benny, I've got a question. It's Rochelle. Really love the idea, love the concept, and I've seen a startup not even start because of, two founders not agreeing on the name and the brand. And so I think this is really interesting. I'm keen to know how you're going to know that you're building successful solutions for clients.
Well, obviously it's a combination of first, it's based on experience of myself and our advisor, John Kurzweil, who's played a huge role in building the strategy tools. And one thing we've already seen in our early tests is that exact problem you're alluding to. Like, alignment is one of the crucial things for strategy. We've seen founders, like 3 founders who ran the strategy workshop with us. One of them was based in the US, and they've been doing this for a year and a half, and they're kind of close to product market fit, and the way how they talked about the product was entirely different. And it was really interesting to take them through a workshop and ask the right questions. And essentially, like, usually that takes about 90 minutes, and for us, it took like 3 hours with them, and they weren't kind of sure. But a day later, they had aligned, and that's a really powerful thing to have. Like, now they talk about the same things, and they talk to investors, they talk to clients, they talk to potential new staff, and they were talking about different things before, and now it's just the same solution.
Hey, Benny, Joe. It's John Battistich here. Like you, Benny, I've got some background in brand and work with Interbrand. I know you at Holzbosch. So my question is around how reoccurring is the revenue? Because I would have thought some components of this value chain are actually project-based and happens on a major event rather than an ongoing subscription. Can you talk to us a little about that reoccurring versus churn?
Yes, that's a really interesting question. So, and I think that's one of the crucial things we've always been asked. Obviously, traditionally, the branding space is kind of owned by agencies, and it's usually based on a project based kind of budget. So you say we'll create a brand, but if you're honest, it depends on your definition of brand, but the definition the school of thought I come from is Martin Neumeyer's, where brand is a person's gut feeling towards a product or a service. It's not a set of visual assets or a logo or all these things. Like, they're essentially just a vehicle. They're one tool in the arsenal of a brand to essentially reach customers, right? And so design is only a component of this. And so the way how we're looking at it is, that's actually a problematic approach at the moment, that you see it project based, because what we see is that people use a designer, for example, a freelancer, to create a visual identity system and a guideline. Sometimes they even use a strategist. Often that step is skipped in small businesses. But so essentially you create this core toolkit, but then people go out on their own. They have a guideline, but they're not marketers, they're not designers. What they do is they go to Canva, sometimes import the colors, sometimes even the typefaces. But essentially they start picking social media posts or presentations or whatever they're going for based on their personal taste. And they can't really judge what fits into that framework from before or what doesn't. And it's like this, the longevity of something and kind of the brand guardianship is a really crucial thing. And you find this in expensive agencies. Sometimes when you manage to get a retainer with a client over time, but they're usually really expensive. And it's this traditional model of, agencies with consultants and lots of billable hours. But the reality is you can do this relatively simple. We will create the core identity toolkit. We will host the assets. We will host the guidelines, but we'll also create tools. And this is where, again, I have to be a little bit shallow, but we know how we can create tools that keep you on track. So we can use advanced tools that track how you build those touch points for your brand over time, like social media posts, like a campaign, like even SEO. Stay on track with the way how you write, because essentially all of these things are now doable through AI. Like AI has advanced so much in the last couple of years with natural language processing, but also like now image generation and the way how AI looks at images. So we know how to pull this together into essentially an automated brand guardian. And that automated brand guardian, once you're there, you will stay, because we can also in your day-to-day kind of, easily make things like image search easier and better. We can make, things like that. Content creation will become simpler for you, faster and on brand. And that's the way how we create that stickiness. In the beginning, we'll focus on the first 3 years. Like we're aiming for kind of the low-hanging fruit when we start. But obviously the long game is making those tools learn over time. And because we have this continuous change, like from the start with strategy and the whole thinking behind it, where it's all coming from, then you have created the identity system with us, the visual identity system, and you're creating content with us. We can learn so much about you that we can really kind of get better and grow with our customers. We actually think that we can stay with our customers much longer than 3 years, but in the beginning, it's like as I said, like the low-hanging fruit. That's how we'll go to market. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Hey guys, Toby here. I've got a question. It's probably best answered by Joe. I'd just love you to bring to life an example, a near-term example of how AI will help bring efficiency into some of that guardianship of brand. I just love you to bring it to life a bit more, Benny, because it's obviously a big call, AI doing X. I'd love to hear technically, Joe, a little bit more specificity on a good use case of where that would change things.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I should, if you haven't heard of it, I should introduce you to DALL-E by OpenAI, which we are on the wait list for. We have been using GPT-3 for the NLP tasks, and DALL-E is a visual generator, so you can actually just ask it to create from a text prompt. It creates the actual image for you, and there are different AI models which create actual photographic images or like illustrations. So from a simple text prompt, you can create images, and again, the visual style of the images is something we are experimenting with, and and it has to be on brand as well. So we are actually taking some of the image processing models and training it in-house with our own custom data. So that part ensures that the style of the images or the visual assets generated by it is according to your strategy. So that is the custom part we are doing, but there's a lot of GAN-based models out there which can generate whatever image you want. Many of them are not perfect. Some of them look really weird, but again, that's something we are trying to work on. And again, it takes some time to learn and produce good outputs. But yeah, things are moving fast.
Let me jump in here with one additional thing. We've talked about images. In the beginning, there is a simple version of what Joe just talked about. A simple version is actually using working with existing imagery. And AI is already relatively good in classifying images and understanding things that are not subject matter. So it's actually harder for an AI to differentiate between whether something is a dog or a cat. But it's much easier for an AI to understand whether, for example, it's a shallow depth of field or a sharp image, completely sharp image, because it's just about, essentially how images are rastered and contrast within the images. And so what we can do right from the start is essentially apply a brand filter for imagery styles as an example. And things like that will allow you to create sets of images that are coherent. And that's an example for image processing or for image searching when we create content for social media posts or ads. And there are other applications we've already talked about, but as I said, like we because this is public and we're about like more than half a year away from launching the full product, we can't go into more detail. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Joe and Benny. I've got a question on a slightly different tack. The proposition you're showing is highly disruptive. As you showed before, the market is very fragmented. I think a very wise choice to start with the early adopter tech startup community. The question I've got then is, from there, how do you think about scaling? Particularly when we know it's difficult to sort of find businesses at the right point in time when they know that they need that product.
So there's actually one thing we've wrestled with for a long time, and we feel that we've cracked it. So the model, how we're building it, we're building virality straight into the product. So if you think that it's a pure SaaS solution, we can actually give away a lot of value upfront. It's like Canva services 50 million customers a year, but 3 million pay and make their revenue. And essentially, we want to build scale really fast. So we'll actually give away a lot of the core aspects of the product until you get into the actual design creation. So we'll give away a lot upfront, generate a lot of value. But there are points in time where we already know that people today use social media to share things and ask their peers for advice. And that we'll use that knowledge to build virality into the product and create points in time where you make it shareable out of the product and say immediately, like, share this, ask this on social, like, do you want to, can't decide, how about you share this here? And this is a way how we can create virality straight into the whole process, into our freemium model. And then because we've invested time, after a while, we think the conversion will be relatively easy. And that's the thing we just have to optimize. In the end, we have to optimize the conversion. That's the same thing like what Canva is doing. Build huge scale and then optimize the conversion. Much easier than acquiring new customers from scratch.
I think we've got time for one more question. If someone doesn't put their hand up, I've got one, but I very much welcome other panelists. Oh, you're being too nice. Okay, fine.
Can I ask a hard question? Oh,
okay, go.
Right at the last minute. So you might hear some die-hard marketers say that it's impossible to completely automate this process. What are your thoughts around that?
I've got some die-hard designers around me who will say exactly the same thing. And there's a lot of die-hard copywriters who are still saying that, you can't replace the copywriting. In the beginning, we'll focus on the low-hanging fruit. And this, there's a way how we've always looked at our business. If you think that the agency model costs you, even if you go to a small agency, it costs you like 20, 25 grand at least. If we can do 60% for 5% of the price, we've got an incredibly valuable product, because there are a lot of people who just simply can't afford it at the moment. But the thing is, with AI, if you look at what's happening right now and how it's accelerating, there are things we can't do yet, but the thing is yet. And with the pace that's happening right now, we want to be in a position to be the ones leveraging those tools. And we will be, because we generate all of this data right now. We start learning now. if someone jumps in 5 years, we will have a data set that they can't beat anymore. If someone jumps in 2 years, we want to have a data set that they can't beat anymore. And this just will become better and better and better. Yes, you're right. You can't do everything yet, but how far will it go? And as I said, 60% for 5% of the price is what we're aiming for at the moment, and that's incredibly valuable.
That sounds like a good deal, Benny. I'm holding the conch, so I'm cheating with one more question, but we've only got 1 minute to be fair to our other competitors. What I'm interested in is how can X15, through its relationship with CBA, how does it add value to brand? It doesn't feel, to be more pointed, it doesn't feel like something that we, it's quite a specific service offering, not something that we, promote in the CommBank app as a dumb example. So I'd be keen to hear your thoughts on that in 1 minute.
In 1 minute, I'm going to start with a cheeky answer. You guys invited us. But the rest of it, I think CBA has a huge customer base and talks to a lot of small to medium enterprises. And so obviously, I think you've got access to that market. You've got relationships with that market. And I think also through things like Backer, you're doing things in that space already, helping small businesses thrive. And I think that's incredibly powerful. So for us, it's more like I think it's also synergy in terms of technology. You guys know what you're doing for that space. You've been doing that for a long time. So I think there's a lot we can learn from you, and a lot of synergy.
Thank you, and we did very gladly invite you. Good answer. Benny, Joe, thank you on behalf of everyone for your passion. Thanks for the pitch. Thank you for the participation in the program. We've loved having you on board. I think this one's got us all thinking it's such a huge opportunity. So I just, in advance of decision tonight or tomorrow morning, I just wanted, on behalf of the X15 team, thank you for your participation. I hope you got lots from it, irrespective of tonight's decision. And thank you for today's pitch.
Thanks for your time, guys. It was amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
See you guys. Okay, I think it's on me, assuming everyone can hear me. There we go. We can see Sales Optics. So right on to the next venture. Retail's a very visual business. Retailers and consumers obviously make purchase decisions based on aesthetics and what's on trend. But when it comes to the reporting industry or retail reporting, the industry still uses Excel, really unvisual tools to help, buyers and other members of a retail team work out what's going well and what's not. Johnny from Sales Optic has spent more than a decade copying and pasting into some of those reports, but he's now going to share what I think we all love the sound of, which is an Excel killer. In this case, an Excel killer for retail managers. I am going to say hello to Johnny and Dylan.
Hi, Toby. How you going?
G'day, guys.
Hey,
how you going?
Very well. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. You know who we are. We're going to sort of maximize the time for your pitch and the questions. We're really, really excited. I think we're going to roll your pitch, and then we'll see you on the other side for questions.
Let's do it. Hi, I'm Johnny Wallace. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sales Optic, frictionless product visual sales reporting. The problem that we're solving is that sellers are unable to see images of product paired with sales data that are driving their business in real time. Current product sales reports that are exported from Excel have a SKU name, a SKU code, some KPIs, but no images of the product, so you can't get a true understanding as to why it is or isn't selling. To create a product visual sales report, it's manual and inefficient. Businesses do this, and it provides a huge amount of value, but you need to go and export the data and cut and paste off the internet, which takes time, and it can't be adjusted in real time. What this all leads to is missed profit potential. When you can't see what's driving your business on the fly, get an understanding of the product that's delivering results or not, you can't implement strategies within the week to trade your business and drive sales and drive profit. So our solution is to ditch the spreadsheet and focus on product in an interface that marries product imagery with sales data. Real-time sales data in a user-friendly interface. You can filter to selected fields and product attributes and take action on visual product insights. Product knowledge is power, and easy to share. Empower your organization with approachable sales data. Share visuals with KPIs and make it easy to relate to and recall product performance. You can effortlessly share via email or HTML your report from within the application. Actionable feedback from the front line. Users can provide feedback on product attributes from within the application. Convert subjective frontline product comments into objective data. Visually report on feedback to better communicate product improvement opportunities across your team. Looking at the addressable market, we're focusing on the clothing, accessories and footwear industry, which is a market size of $28 billion in Australia. There's currently over 24,000 businesses. Last year in FY21, we saw growth of almost 18%. And there's 13,000 small to medium-sized businesses in Australia performing at a top worldwide revenue of over $500,000 a year. We're dealing with a very quantifiable problem. Teams are time poor. Of the 10 retailers we surveyed, their admin teams are spending on average of 4 to 6 hours a week each on creating product visual sales reports. There's too much markdown in the industry. The average profit margin in fashion retail is just over 50%, with an average markup being between 2.2 and 2.5%. This means that we're seeing product margins eroded by anywhere from 5 to 10% every season. There's a clear need for a solution. Out of the 10 retailers we surveyed, 9 said that they don't currently have a tool which does product visual sales reporting for them, but would definitely use one if it were available to them. The business model is focused on market-wide appeal at every level based on users, with a 12-month contract starting at $500 a month for a smaller business, up to $2,000 a month for a larger business. The Sales Optic team has a wealth of retail experience. I myself am the CEO and have been living this problem for the last 15 years of my working life. I come from a buying and planning background, and I've learnt the hard way that sending Excel spreadsheets out to the whole business to communicate performance isn't the best way to inform everyone on what's working and what's not. Dylan Nielsen is from a family of retailers with strong financial background. He will be acting as a CFO and working on business development. We've also partnered up with Sasha, Tom and Sam to be our advisors from Hyper, who have helped us build this product concept to this point. So our ask is to invest into product-driven intelligence. We're asking for $150,000 to fund the development of the beta program of Sales Optic, so our beta customers can start using Sales Optic to drive their sales and drive their profitability. Because a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Straight off the bat, we've got Rochelle, who heads up shopping at CBA with a question.
Hey, Johnny. Hey, Dylan. This is awesome and super exciting in terms of getting visual around spreadsheets. I wish we could do that internally more at the bank. One thing I just want to understand is how easy is this for a small business to implement and integrate this into what they would currently have in inventory management and current sales processes?
Thanks, Rochelle. That's a great question. And I think the fact that there's so many sort of ERPs and accounting tools out there, such as Xero and MYOB, who are actually focused on that small to medium-sized enterprises, this tool is designed to plug in via API to something like that. So the good thing is that there's a lot of small to medium enterprises being serviced by these ERPs, let's call them, or business intelligence tools, already in the market. So they should be already managing their inventory, managing their sales within these tools. Everything should be organized in the right way. And Sales Optic will be treated as a sort of a plug-in to plug into those tools.
Sure. And sorry, Rochelle, how are you going? We're quite cognizant of that too. With SMEs not wanting to be cost prohibitive. One of the main drivers behind this is obviously being able to provide a pseudo buying team for businesses of that size. So our initial kind of pitch would be for the API integration to not be cost prohibitive, that we absorb a bulk of that cost within reason, and that'll actually sort of determine how we initially build the beta program too, whether it's an app sitting in an app store or we're just doing integration straight to the API.
Okay, so you're still working out exactly how it would work with the small business, is that right? Or are you working on multiple solutions?
Multiple solutions.
Okay.
cost driven.
Johnny and Dylan, thank you so much for that presentation. John Battistich here. A question, this is a very tight use case around visualizing product performance to make better pricing and buying decisions. Where does the visualization idea, where does that expand to? How do you grow from this point? And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to see how ambitious you guys are around visualization and how does that create real insight and decision making?
Thanks, John. I love that question, and that's something that I'm very passionate and excited about. But obviously, want to be realistic and delivering the MVP in its truest form. And it's a simple concept. It's just pictures of product with sales KPIs. And I'm pleased that you sort of potentially see where this could go. It could be a product visual business intelligence solution. It's about articulating product performance and showing product performance in an interesting way to empower everyone across the organization on what is and what isn't selling. So while at the moment you can see from the screen grabs from the presentation that we took you through, it kind of looks like an online store. You can scroll through, filter to what you want to see, what's profitable, what's not profitable, where am I overstocked. But then the question is that once we get that connection and once we get the feedback from our beta customers, what we can do from this is really exciting. Can we implement intelligence into it to say, hey, products of this type are performing really well and you should be placing reorders. This is what it looks like. This is what a suggested marketing plan around this product will look like. Hey, Johnny, Dylan, whoever's using it, John, this is, where your inventory is really unproductive. Let's have a look at that. What's the common things that we can see here? Because what you can do with that is obviously then articulate to your marketing team, your e-commerce team. Can your e-com merchandise manager just jump on board to the tool and suddenly go, wow, these are my products that I'm holding a lot of inventory in and they're not performing. I'm going to push them, promote them to the top of the page. You can go to your marketing team without having to go through all the different channels and cross-functional teams within an organization. Your head of marketing can jump on and get an understanding of what new reactions are performing, what isn't performing, and make informed decisions around that. But the whole idea is that when you see an image of the product, you understand why it isn't selling, and you recall it as well too. So when later in the date, when you're referring to product feedback, you'd be like, yep, I remember that. I remember that was a black t-shirt, or I can see that green isn't working, and all those sorts of things. So we get really excited for where this could potentially go. And to summarize it, I'm answering in a very long way, but it's to essentially disrupt the way we articulate product performance with the use of product visuals. I challenge, does this tool even need a pie chart or a graph or anything, and really just focus on the visuals and how can that be shown in an interesting way, and democratize and make sales data approachable for the whole organization. So that's what we're super passionate about and excited about.
John, if I can jump in just to something else. So obviously our initial revenue stream's B2B, so us with a retailer per se. But again, it can be wholesalers to retailers. It can be brands to wholesalers to retailers. And the idea being that it's each one of those three people servicing the same business would all have a subscription. Potential white labeling of it to a marketing consultant, say, or business or retail type business support function. So it actually takes out the BD component for us, and they're using our product and white labeling it. And then even just the sheer amount of data this will create, and how what actually we do with that, subject to obviously various legal considerations and privacy acts. But yeah, that's also potential revenue streams we've looked at.
Hi guys, Janie here. The thing I love about this business is you seem to have a lot of clear space around it, and it's genuinely stemmed from you experiencing a need, being in the industry. So I think that's super exciting, in particular from a business development point of view. On the flip side of that, I don't know how much time you guys have spent in a B2B selling environment trying to sell into large retailers and corporates. Have you done, and the impact that can have sometimes on the lengthy sales cycle on a small emerging tech startup. So have you guys done any estimations on sales cycle? Have you already got in your back pocket some retail customers that can come straight on? What's your strategy there?
Thanks so much for the question, Jane. It's a great question. I'll start just on what what our potential customers look like, and I'll let Dylan sort of talk to what the longer term projection would look like. We absolutely have interested parties. We have retailers and brands who are either DTC or multi-branded retailers who want to beta the product. We have not built it yet, and that's why we're here today, to raise the funds to actually build the product. So we have people that are absolutely interested. Again, from my experience in the industry for the last 15 years, I've made a huge amount of connections, and a huge part of the reason why we wanted to create this product is because of the great network that we've got and the need that we know exists in the market. So to answer the first part of your question, there's absolutely people out there that want to use it and will use it once we do build it, which is where our first initial bit of traction will come from. We know then building a SaaS product has to come with scale without question. So in the development process and the way we're approaching it is that it needs to be a scalable product that you can sign up to online. You can enter your details, choose the API connection, and the next day you're connected and all your sales data is flowing through. Now, there's definitely SaaS products that work like that. There's a lot of work to get there. Obviously, we're focused on creating the beta product and testing it with our beta customers. But without question, the long-term goal is to create a very, very scalable solution. So, to that point, Dylan's done some work on projections, what sort of customer growth and everything we need to look like as well.
Yeah. So, Janie, great question. We're realistic, and things that you'd like to happen on the timeline you want to happen, that's never going to work that way. So we're writing off pretty much the rest of this financial year, as far as 6 to 8 months build time, testing, betaing, pretty much all of FY23 as far as no revenue either. Just getting feedback and making changes based on the feedback we're getting from customers at that point. And honestly, FY24 is our first kind of projected paying customer.
Thanks, guys.
Amaya here. I'm just building on Janie's question. Selling in a B2B, firstly, I should say, I love the visualization concept. Always visualizing things makes it much easier for people to recall. One of the key things I was trying to unpack is when you're in a B2B space and that sales process, who are you selling to? Who's the buyer? And more importantly, what would in B2B, business case selling is a method of selling. What is your business case story to the buyer, if it's the CFO as your purchaser, the persona? Because I think they're going to want to understand the value of the $550 a month. What is their return of that cost? And that's part of the business case selling. So I was keen to understand what your business case selling method or story might look like.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, from my first job in retail as a junior buyer, it's part of the reason why we wanted to create this product. This tool is for the CEO. He or she is in the business, and in my experience from, again, working in all these retailers over time is like, hey, I want to see a visual of everything that's worked so far this week. I want to see how this new delivery is performed. I want to see all the worst sellers from last month. So this tool is designed for that person. So that person can log in at any time, get a report sent to them from someone else within the organization, and straight away innately truly understand the products that are driving their business. So I guess that is a case study talking about getting traction and how this will sort of help further sort of accelerate the B2B sales side of things. Is that we're really confident with our beta customer base that are interested in this product, and that's going to create great case studies that we'll then be able to use in the selling process down the track as well too. So like I said, we know we can't be everything to everyone, but we do have a very simple product. But it really is made for anyone from the Sunday casual to the CEO to just be able to log in and understand what's driving the business. So I hope that answers the question. But that's essentially how we will gain traction on the case study to assist in the acceleration of the sales.
And the pricing's at a point that people kind of just forget about it and ignore it, that sticky revenue, and it just comes out. They go, okay, great, I've got 5 stores using this, plus my buying team, plus the CEO looks at it and they go, okay, well, it's only costing us $1,500 a month. Great.
Yeah, that's definitely in that pricing model, for lack of a better way of putting it. We want it to be a no-brainer. We want to say, wow, that's all the value we can get for that sort of, recurring subscription cost. And then we want the users to love using it so much they're on it every day. Instead of scrolling through their phone on Instagram, they're scrolling through this application and looking at what products are selling. Is that they'll never want to lose it because they love using it so much.
Hey, Johnny, Dylan, Toby here. I think I can speak for all of us. Like, you really captured the imagination with this, just solving for Excel and the visualization of product, the sort of, the HubSpot for real product images, and so much potential there. Unfortunately, to be fair to the other participants, we do have to wrap though. But just as we do, I just wanted to thank you on behalf of X15 for your participation in the program. We've loved having you guys on board. Irrespective of what happens with the decision tonight or tomorrow morning, we hope you got a lot out of it. We hope you can get more out of it, out of some of the relationships that you will have got from this program. But all that aside, best of luck for the decision, and thanks very much for your pitch today. It was awesome.
Thanks so much, Toby. Really appreciate it. It's a privilege to be here.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much, guys. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, let's keep this show rolling. On to Shop You. I'm going to allow Kelly to introduce Shop You by way of her pitch, but much to when we kicked off this Xccelerate event, the importance of reimagining how big retailers or small retailers can still reach their customers and sort of deliver value in different ways is at the core of what Kelly's doing. So I am going to welcome Kelly to the table.
Hi.
Hey, Kelly, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. Thanks for this opportunity.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. We are just, by way of housekeeping, Kelly, everyone on the panel.
Yep.
So I think we're going to jump straight into your pitch, and then we'll see you on the other side for Q&A.
Perfect.
Hi, I'm Kelly Slessor. I'm the founder of Shop You. Shop You is a virtual mall connected to your local shopping centre. We all know retail is broken. Online, currently conversion rates sit at around about 2%. So if 100 people go online, only 2 people will actually purchase. And in-store, 20 to 30 people will actually purchase if they come into your store. So we know there's a disconnect happening there. Foot traffic is declining and online spend is increasing. And there's 3 parties involved here. Shopping centres are seeing leakage to online, around 24%. Retailers are trying to increase their traffic and their revenue and reduce their cost of acquisition, and shoppers just want more convenient, easier access to local physical stores. And I believe if we can solve the customer problem, the flow-on effect for shopping centres and retailers will be an increase in revenue. The solution is Shop You. It's a SaaS platform for shopping centres which provides customers with a connection to their local physical store and a personalised experience built on their algorithm, not Google's or Facebook. You jump on your local shopping centre onto the virtual mall, you put in your preferences, you choose your brands, your categories, your style, preferences, what categories you shop in, and you then get your own personalised version of the local shopping centre. When you jump on your local shopping centre, you can chat to concierge, you can book a personal stylist, you can add events. And when you're ready to purchase, you can click and collect in-store, you can click and collect at a centralised location, or you can have it delivered to your home. It's your choice. We provide a fully managed platform, and shopping centres are really struggling with this all over the world, to be able to connect this physical space to the online space. And what our platform allows customers to do is shop in one place, have one cart for all products, and choose the fulfillment options they want. We provide personalization engine. We provide a fulfillment solution, which we partner with. We partner with a logistics company, and we provide a payment gateway. The revenue model is quite simple. There's an upfront payment fee, and this is charged to the shopping centre, an upfront payment fee, an ongoing service management fee, and then we take a small percentage of commission. This is a huge problem globally. In Australia, there are 1,630 shopping centres alone. In the US, over 100,000. Just in Australia alone, if we were to take the regional, sub-regional and CBD centres over the next 3 years, that would be worth in the region of $500 million. And I haven't even talked to you about data. There's a massive opportunity to feed data back to retailers. Quick milestones, we won Stanford University Innovation Programme, we signed a pilot with an MVP with Lendlease, and we're about to roll out a fully fledged solution, virtual mall, to MacArthur Square. We're looking for 150k in funding for development mainly and user experience. I've got 20 years background in retail. I've worked with huge brands globally and local brands, from Woolworths to your fishmonger, from Glue Store to Showpo. I'm surrounded by an amazing team of people from a very diverse background with very diverse thinking. And I have a world-class board in Afterpay, Shane Lenton from Q, Alison Fleming from Westfield, David Burkett, ex-media, and Gavin White, who is the ex-data scientist from Deloitte. We are creating a truly omni-channel experience for customers. Thanks for listening.
Okay, just testing, Kelly, that we've got you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Let's rip into it. I think Ish is first up with a question.
Yes, I cannot wait to get all of those different shops to be all delivered in one instead of having 10 different deliveries to my house, which is incredibly relevant during this pandemic. The question I have for you is, the logistics is a tricky one to nail. How are you thinking about solving that? Are you partnering? Are you building something?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't touch logistics. As you said, it's a very complex area and requires a high level of skill. So we've partnered with and are working with a solution that has over 2,000 click and collect locations across Australia. And we're also working on a solution with one of the biggest logistics companies in Australia, which I don't think I can mention on this because it is public, but you can probably all guess who it is.
Hey Kelly, Janie here.
Hi Janie.
How are you? Great presentation. I love your business, and similar to Ish, I can't wait to use it. So you've already got customers, and I saw on your business model there that the first component is an upfront fee. And it's obviously a white label solution. What is the level of customization that you're finding you will need to do? And is that built into your business model and fee?
Absolutely. So customization from a branding perspective. So obviously branding the platform. We take the brand guidelines from a shopping centre and we can implement them. The one that we're working with has come up with their own branding called ShopLife, which is amazing branding. If you go to shoplife.com.au, you'll see the branding of that. So we take the branding, we take all of the brand guidelines and we can implement that. We localize SEO to the local shopping centre, so we can implement that as well. And then anything around personalization. So the way in which the personalization works is, let's say, for instance, you are looking for a kid's birthday party or a leather jacket, whatever it might be, and you've been looking around, your tags build up. And we know that you've been looking for these. We can then target you with a leather jacket from Country Road or from Tarot Cash or wherever it might be based on your brands. So that level of personalization is automated through the platform, and we can brand that all based on the shopping centre. Does that answer your question?
Yep. Thank you.
Hey, Kelly, I've got a question. It's Rochelle.
Hi, Rochelle.
Hi. The key thing that I find and interested in how you're going to go about doing it is, we've got a lot of apps on our phone, and we shop fairly broadly today. I think generally consumers would. How are you thinking about incentivizing people to download the app and use the app?
So this would be a web app. So you could just go to the website and log on there. You could do that on your mobile. You can do that on desktop. So we're going to use the shopping centre to really help drive traffic. So at the moment, within a local shopping area, let's take I'm in Northern Beaches, Warringah Mall. There's around about 100,000 searches that go on around here for things within that local shopping centre. At the moment, there is no connection. So if I were to search jeans right now or Nikes or whatever it might be, I wouldn't be able to easily find them in centre or in store. So what we're doing is connecting those two elements together.
Okay, so you're reliant really on the shopping centre to promote the, access to the site, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and using local SEO. And the shopping centres have got, big databases that aren't necessarily engaged or connected because there isn't a value exchange at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering about. It's really that value exchange to drive people to do it. Hey, second question while I've got the mic. Inventory management. So, we've talked a little bit about this in the past. How are you thinking about doing that? So knowing that Just Jeans in Warringah Mall has those jeans in size.
So inventory management, again, like logistics, is an interesting, it's another piece of retail that's broken. But what we are seeing, and there's multiple solutions for plugging in your inventory into our system. So you can use a PIM, you can use an API connection. But what we are seeing is retailers are actually in the next 6 to 12 months, and we've spoken to some of the major retailers over the last couple of months, they're actually developing out their local inventory feeds because they know how important things like click and collect have become in this new world. So they're developing those, and over the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see the industry seriously change when it comes to in-store localized inventory. Does that answer your question, Michelle?
It does. Thanks, Kelly.
Amaya, are you jumping in?
Yes. I wasn't sure if John was going to jump in.
Oh, no.
Okay. My question is, I love the concept. It's fantastic. I can also see that it has potential for high street as well.
Mm-hmm.
My question is around this. Seems to me that it's very much, I think you've called it a platform business, but it's also sounds like it's going to require a lot of partnership with the shopping centres because your success is pinned on their success.
Yeah.
And how are you going to, how will that partnership model work? And, will this be resource intensive for you?
No, because it is run as a SaaS platform. So once we get one shopping centre on, we already, the kind of the heavy lifting piece is working with the retailers initially to get their inventory feeds in. Once that's done and you've got one centre on, in most centres you will have the same retailers or a number of retailers that are the same, so that heavy lifting starts to reduce. So actually, as you scale this model, the intensity of it starts to reduce. You can use more customer service agents to service more of the same questions. You can build up responses based on AI. We use concierge chat, so you can start to funnel those questions for customers. So it's actually a model whereby as we bring on more, the costs don't escalate. They actually level out.
Kelly, I think final question from me. Congratulations on the momentum. I understand that you have had a pilot. Can you take us through at a very high level what utility you created for consumers and what were some of the outcomes and lessons that have led you to now the second stage of that with Lend-Lease?
So we've run two pilots, in fact, and one was a click and collect solution up at Sunshine Plaza, and one was a solution within Barangaroo where people had access to a runner to be able to go and pick up goods for them and bring them into Barangaroo. We saw conversion rates. We saw conversion rates akin to those in-store conversion rates. We saw basket size 3 times the average basket size of a shopping centre. With the click and collect, we had great customer sentiment, and I think it was a 4.8 star rating in terms of the ease of use. And I think the consistent feedback from customers has been, it just makes the process of shopping easier. And I think, when I think to, the Afterpay, when I think about some of the biggest growing retail platforms that have had the biggest success, it's that they've made that shopping experience easier and faster and more convenient for the customer. And customers want to connect to local. They want to buy locally in store and buy local products. But at the moment, there's a complete disconnect there. So I think both pilots prove that if we can put technology in place to ease that, we increase revenue, we increase conversion rates, and we increase consumer sentiment.
Hey, Kelly, Toby here. I'm going to cheat with the 30-second one just because I hold the cons. I think once upon a time, malls used to be a pastime or a source of entertainment for family. Other than consolidation of click and collect and packaging, what value are you creating, particularly on the entertainment perspective?
So I think what our platform does is provide personalization to a user. I think we provide ease of use and access to products. And I think someone mentioned earlier on, that doesn't necessarily just have to be shopping centre, that can be high street as well. And it's making that shopping a really easy and convenient experience. It's not, I believe that the shopping centres do need to become experiential places and, warehouses and local fulfillment centres and all of that stuff. I could speak underwater for hours about that stuff. But this solution is really to help connect customers to physical location, to physical product, and make it easy for them to get that product, whether that be on your high street or at your local shopping centre. Yep,
no, that's straightforward. I don't have time to ask about your book configuration behind you, but it's...
My kids think I'm mental. They purposely change them around all the time just to annoy me.
There's a blue one up there. Kelly, thank you very much. Just on behalf of X15, we do have to wrap to give equal time to other participants. Thank you very much for participating in the program. I think we've all been struck by your experience, your passion for this space. Candidly, that commercial connection and real sense you're going to do this. And I think you've probably got quite a few customers on this call already. So I want to say thanks for your participation. Best of luck for the decision, which we'll probably make this evening and communicate tomorrow morning. In the outcome where that's not the decision you were after, I really do hope that you've got something from this program and that we can continue the relationship. But on behalf of X15 and the judging panel, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
I almost out of instinct, when you say bye on a Teams call, hit the hang up button, but I didn't. I'm sorry to say, everyone, I'm still here, and we're going to roll on to our fourth venture, which is Splash Up. I think we're all pretty familiar now as sort of amateur behavioral economics with the idea of like choice fatigue or the multi-tab doom scrolling evenings spent shopping and actually realizing that you're wasting a lot of time and not getting closer to finding what you really want. That's my take on what the Splash Up team are partly trying to solve for. So without further ado, I wanted to welcome Natalie and Vivek.
Hey team, good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, guys.
Hey guys, welcome. You know who we are, and we're going to maximize time. So we're going to jump straight into your pitch, and then we'll see you on the other side for some Q&A.
Sounds good.
Hi, I'm Natalie, working with my co-founder Vivek, and we're here to create Splash Up, a personalized product discovery platform that reimagines the shopping experience. The online shopping experience is broken. Consumers struggle to find exactly what they're shopping for, and it costs retailers over $600 billion annually on advertising that's mostly wasted for less than 3% conversion rates. Many will describe online shopping as simply going online, finding what you like, and getting it. But we know that the reality is when someone shops, they just naturally explore and compare endlessly. So imagine you're browsing online and you're looking to buy pants. You go on a store, then the pants page, and find hundreds of pants to scroll through and compare on the price, the style, the trust, and the quality of the item. You wonder maybe it came in a different cut or a different color, in light blue or in dark blue or high rise. Ultimately, all this back and forth makes most shoppers bounce. Researchers call it the messy middle. Frankly, we think this online shopping experience needs reimagining. So we're building SplashUp. SplashUp is a personalized product discovery experience for mid to large retailers, allowing them to engage the right customers with the right product at the right time and ultimately convert to a sale. We're a low-code integration layer that's powered by our proprietary machine learning algorithms, where shoppers can tweak or nudge their specific results for the items they like until they find the one they love. We're turning e-commerce shopping to a two-way engaging experience. Like, hey, SplashUp, I like these pants, but now maybe show me something similar but cheaper with a different cut and a different color. Maybe show me a similar cream, but with more SPF. That way, shoppers won't have to manually sift through everything every time and bounce. What this does is consumers have reduced shopping fatigue, increased decision confidence and less returns, and a much happier experience, while retailers gain increased click-through rates, lower bounce rates, better inventory visibility, and a much better understanding on what users truly want. We've released our private beta in the hands of users with the following stats that shoppers want to spend more time engaging with products they find relevant. So we've been turbocharging with thousands of brands and organically have over 450 waitlisted users to use our SplashUp experience. Retailers have been showing strong interest for SplashUp for its experience and its benefits. We signed our first furniture marketplace and received verbal intent from one of the largest Australian marketplaces. For confidentiality reasons, we can't really reveal the brands we're working with, but we're also having conversations with key marketplaces and retailers in beauty and in clothing. Unlike our competitors, SplashUp Stack uses deep semantic search and session-based recommendations. Usually you see retros and all you get is more retros. Others have also tried achieving this through basic AI, quizzes and chatbots, or just endless discounts. We now need more than ever to create simpler, wider discovery experiences, especially with the upcoming third-party ban or cookie apocalypse that's nearing, which will only make the messy middle messier. Our total addressable market is sitting at $70 billion globally and growing. We execute our revenue model on tiered pricing that's based on the retailer's monthly traffic with the potential for clip-on conversions. We've got future opportunities and engagement through rewards and loyalty, personalized user hubs, and an analytics. SplashUp's early momentum comes down to the awesome team we've assembled. My co-founder and our CTPO, Vivek, was the lead data scientist at Australia's leading online retailer, The Iconic, with 15 years working in AI and consulting to brands including Westpac and Luxottica. He holds an MBA and has first-hand experience in building leading retail analytics teams. I've spent the past 6 years in various high-growth startups, including leading the growth of a business unit at Madpause that IPO'd this year and in startup advisory at UNSW with a background in finance and in marketing. Being a previous founder in retail myself, it was an inspiration in us in founding SplashUp. We're joined by our team of 4 in engineering and design, Jeremy, Min, Ali, and Hardik, and our phenomenal advisors, Saga, who's the Chief Data Officer at Latitude Financial Services, and Benjamin Ling, who's the Head of Sales at ALO. So, where's our journey taking us next? We've currently secured the MVP grant, have around 60K in funding and 50K funding commitment pending. We're currently seeking 150K in funding to help us for the next 12 months in hiring tech and data science resources to scale our tech and AI, hire and design to achieve the full release of the product in the market, and onboarding of retailers and users. We're really excited about the journey ahead. We've got the team, the advisors, the early supporters, and promising conversations with merchants and users. We're on a mission to flip the e-commerce game. We believe that online shopping should be blissful. Online shopping should be engaging. More choices should be more relevant, and that everyone should discover products the way they dream about using them. It's time to begin a new era of e-commerce. Shopping reimagined. Thank you.
Vivek, Natalie, just testing. We've got you now live.
You do. Thank you.
Fantastic. We might launch straight into it. Could you tell me a little bit more about the economics of the business? You mentioned some customers that you've spoken to, marketplaces and retailers, but it sounds like it's a browser extension for consumers that drives SKU choice across different SKUs from different stores, or or maybe it should, to be effective. How do the economics work?
So in terms of like where we're at, really the conversations we're having with retailers have been primarily in us integrating that Splash Up experience with the existing ecosystem. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
So in terms of like where we're at, initially speaking, where we have begun, the Splash Up kind of journey has taken us in a way where for us to really launch a product in the market, we wanted to create much better understanding to what users are really looking for and also understand more what the market truly needs. Obviously, what the play that we're in relies heavily on customer experience, but also in really understanding that that user journey and also the different decisions that user take. So with the retailers, we're actually looking at the moment at it's basically like personalization as a service, if you want to call it, where we're charging a monthly fee based on the estimated on number of API calls sort of per business, and that's really directly based on the number of traffic they would have per month between like the 50K to 250K for certain retailers, and then really categorizing it in that sense depending on the monthly traffic to avoid unintentional or unexpected spikes in traffic, as a lot of retailers do. So in terms of unit economics, we also have some very interesting potential for clip-ons on conversions, as depending on different retailer conversations, obviously. But so these conversations that we're having with retailers have been primarily focused on us really enabling their current experience and really becoming more of a very powerful infrastructure of customer experience on their own platforms, as that's something that they are truly bleeding from, especially with all the money that they're spending on advertising, acquiring customers, as well as engaging with customers. There is a need for change, and it's been very phenomenal just seeing all their interest in what we're building.
Thank you.
Viv, do you want to... Sorry, Vivek, did you want to add anything?
Oh, no, that's all. I think she stole my words. All good.
I love it. And my question's sort of going down a similar path to what Toby just asked about. Maybe I'm interested in, say, let's just pick a retailer, and I don't know whether it's like the Country Road Group, which is sort of multiple retailers, or it's I'll pick on the Iconic, Vivek, because you've worked there before. Is the pitch into them and solely into them, which I think you've answered yes to, and then is there enough scope within a sort of a single retailer to say, hey, I want the high-waisted pants, or I want a slightly different style of pants for this to be really useful, or does it need a group or a more department store size?
That's a great question. I can take this if you don't mind. So yeah, thanks for that, Rochelle. So you're like Natalie said, the past couple of months since we've been building Splash Up has definitely been a very interesting journey for us. So we started out initially, I think this is something that Toby referred to, we started out initially solving the pain point of retailers like Natalie herself. Natalie used to be a small e-commerce retailer herself, and we wanted to give her end users an amazing shopping experience. So that's how this really started. But in the past 2 months, we've sort of realized that the first principles of personalized product discovery pretty much remain the same, and this is based on all of that amazing traction that we've been getting, which we're really excited about. So we're responding to this positive market demand, but our strategy is like we're trying to not do any hard pivots without actual proof points. So in order to service a retailer, or in this case a marketplace like the Iconic, there is considerable amount of inventory that don't get serviced because most users don't really go beyond page 1 or page 2 of the search page. So this is a real problem of there being a long tail of inventory sitting in their warehouses, and that's the kind of that's the kind of experience that we want to surface out. So the way we're providing this type of integration is we're doing this as a low-code integration on their website, and really powering their product inventory and helping their users service and discover their products the best.
Got
Exactly.
it. Thank you.
And then just adding to that, I would say that it's also beyond that, the style or the cut of an item, but it really is about taking that item to a granular level and truly understanding it from a performance point of view, or from a what it actually is trying to do, bringing out these features in a very beautiful way, the way that people actually go in store and ask someone and say, I like these shoes, but maybe slightly more performance one. We need to make that a two-way kind of an engaging experience. And for us to provide that as a way to reach consumers in a much more organic way, we have so many ways to really grow this beyond the industries that we're currently focusing on, because we have these questions every day, and also to many areas that we are really excited to be growing into over time. And so the question is it just starts with solving the messy middle as a start, and then the sky is the limit for us.
Hi, Natalie. I've got a question that's kind of on that, which is, there's lots of data that's already available in terms of sort of SKU level. Like, in order to really crack this, there's going to be an element of, when you're actually in a store, how do you replicate that? I really like this, but the waist is a little bit too tight. The stuff that might not actually be easily available. How are you thinking about building that richness around your proposition?
Viv, do you want to take this one?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can take this. So thanks for that. So you're absolutely right, and this is in fact one of the core reasons for us going with our approach of combining proven types of user experience methodologies in addition to deep semantic machine learning algorithms. So most of our competitors, most of the people in the market try and solve personalization either through some form of cookie-based type of approaches, or more really through algorithmic personalization approaches. And therein lies the problem, because needs, customer intent can't really be modeled and dialed down in a very completely granular manner. Not only that, these are longitudinal as well, because your intent, your own tastes would change over time. So there's limits to how much an algorithm can learn over this. So our approach really here is in trying and getting the deep semantic product attributes on one end, but that's only one part of our secret sauce. The other part is in providing a beautiful, clean user interface that can be used in order to customize this and feed the algorithm real-time inputs about what they're looking for. And that's the kind of an in-store experience that we want to bring in, where you have this amazing salesperson, you go and stand near a particular address, and all the salesperson has to do is like, is this something you're looking for? I like this, but maybe something slightly here. And that's the input to the algorithm, which can be learned over time. And so it's not purely algorithmic, but it's this combination of being in the middle of not just the user attributes, but also the aggregated user journeys that we are accumulating with the deep semantic attributes.
And just adding to that, when it comes to certain key information, what we'll be doing is really working with our retailers and also starting to understand and learn more that people are actually seeking more information on how on waste or certain particular attributes that we can really work with the retailers to uncover, as well as external resources that we can really tap into. So it's really an amalgamation of different factors and variables that would come into play to provide people with this choice and provide them with the results, basically.
So team, thank you so much. You had some early success in convincing some retailers to partner with you. Can you take us through, just very briefly, how have you done that? What's the business case and the integration case have you landed very simply to get that kind of early interest?
I can take that if that's okay. Maybe I'll just quickly start and then you can take it home. Thanks for that again, John. So we're going very, very firmly with where we are, and we're playing in that mid-funnel space. We take people from intent into decision. We don't promise the world. So what we're saying is we're able to provide that personalized product discovery in order to bring them from the activation stage up until the decision stage. And we're sort of saying that our case, in terms of what we are able to achieve, is in terms of with the private beta benefits that we've been seeing, we're able to see increase in time on site. We're able to see increases in this type of user engagement in terms of actual click-throughs, and these seem to be positively correlated measures and metrics that lead towards decision. And so those are some of the factors that we're sort of driving hard on, in addition to the fact that we have lived and breathed this problem. Like I mentioned, Natalie literally spent years acquiring customers and trying to take them through the process as a small retailer. And I have spent years working with large retailers and trying to optimize their conversion funnels and trying to sort of get them through, sort of fatten up the middle as well. Sorry, that was a pretty crass way of saying it, but what I meant to say was in order to increase the bottoms rather than increasing the top. So these are some of the key points that we've been driving hard on, and we're iterating on our approach.
I would just add to that, when it comes to engaging with retailers, the really simple thing is they know that they've got low conversion rates. They know that they're spending a lot of advertising. They know that they're losing customers. The thing is, when we're pitching to them, what we're saying is, we are proposing a very intuitive and unique kind of way for them to really provide an innovative customer experience without having to reinvent the wheel and move away from a traditional kind of e-commerce infrastructure, where the conversation is really starting with, we can increase engagement on site with relevant products on site. We're able to increase click-through rates. We're able to make sure your products are visible equally, and really take these users on a journey of navigating and tailoring what they want without having you to leverage very complex tech or really have to go above and beyond to really give them what they want. And so this customer apathy, this very messy experience, is something that retailers are really navigating really harshly these days. And so the way that they're coming to that we're actually proposing Splash Up has been really well received, and so now we're just going to continue working on that and hoping to deliver this customer experience hopefully sometime in the next few months. Thank you.
Hey guys, I think there's a lot more questions that we all would love to ask. We all obviously resonate with what you're trying to solve for. I think you'd help us all win back some hours in the evening too. Congratulations on your momentum so far. On behalf of X15, I just wanted to, because we may not have an opportunity after this event to do it as a group, I just wanted to thank you for your participation. We've loved having your energy and your passion and involvement in this program, and I hope, irrespective of where the decision lands this evening and communicated tomorrow, that you've got something out of this program and that you can build on some relationships out of it. But for now, I just want to thank you very much for your time, and particularly for that awesome pitch today.
Thank you, Toby, and thank you for the entire team for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Thanks, see you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we are going to bring it home, and just to keep our pulses racing, we're back onto deep AI. I think our last pitch for today, Business 4.2, I mean, this in my mind is really about how you bring the promise of AI, sort of enterprise-grade AI, to the SME to help them make recommendations and retain their customers or increase the value of their customers. But I will ask Isaac and Ryan to join us because they're going to do a much better job of explaining their business. Isaac and Ryan, have we got you on the line?
Yeah, thanks, Toby.
Hey guys, I think you know us all. We know you, so we're going to jump straight into your pitch, and then we'll see you on the other side for Q&A.
Hi, I'm Isaac, the CEO and co-founder of 4.2. There's 2.1 million small and mid-sized companies in Australia, and more of these are moving online every day. When they do, they have a very different way of understanding their customer. Instead of meeting and greeting individual customers coming through the front door, they're seeing reams and reams of data, and they get a full 360-degree view of what each of their customers are doing with their shop. Yet when these companies move online, they face a whole range of new challenges. They struggle to choose the best prices and offers for their customers. They struggle to understand what all their tools and data are really saying. And they also struggle to change to different customer preferences and economic conditions. In the past, they could always talk to someone on the floor or meet and greet them when they walk into their shop. Now they just have gigabytes and gigabytes of data with hashed emails, time on site, and it's really a very new way of looking at their business. And a lot of these companies really struggle to leverage this new way to maximize and improve their company. This is where 4.2 comes in. We improve the income of companies with recurring revenue by personalizing and recommending the prices, offers, and discounts they give to each and every one of their customers. We help increase the LTV between 5 and 15%, and this can dramatically transform their business. It's really simple to get started. It just takes minutes to get the first recommendation, and the AI improves over time. It's also set them to get, so companies don't have to do labor-intensive A/B tests. They just set their targets, set which part of the customer journey they want to improve, and it will work and improve automatically. 4.2 can have a tremendous impact in Australia. In the markets we're already competing, we could add additional revenue of $18.5 billion for small and mid-sized companies. This leads to a tremendous long-term revenue opportunity for us globally of $1.9 billion in annual recurring revenue. 4.2 is in a really good position and we're growing rapidly. Over the last 6 months, we've deployed our web app, we've got some paying customers, we've done some paid pilots worth 13 grand, and we've built our core AI. Some of the learnings we got is that people really want the actions, not the graphs. They want our product to be as simple and usable as possible, and they want to get fast time to value. Over the next 6 months, we're improving our self-service, we're going to 10x our current customers, and we're going to refine our go-to-market and branding. You may have seen something similar to 4.2 in the CBA customer engagement engine. But 4.2 is really different. We're priced at a drastically different amount and target very different customers. We've done it by productizing the AI, so it works for any digital small and mid-sized business. We sell online with low marginal costs, and we've made it to be as self-service as possible, so any SMB can use our web application and get started really, really fast. We've built our AI to improve revenue, retention, and satisfaction at scale. We ingest data from commonly used cloud data sources. We then have a standard approach to profile different customers in different companies. We then deploy recommendations with some simple drop-in code, which any company can use. Then our AI improves and learns autonomously with reinforcement learning. All this is a virtuous loop, and it improves and gets better over time for each customer. And also as we grow to more customers, the AI gets better and better and better, giving us a strong competitive moat. We're AI pros with lots of experience at both Microsoft and McKinsey. I've got a PhD in maths, and I'm using some of that knowledge to help us improve and put in better and better AI in our product. We have a really strong vision of where we want to go. We want to help every single company use AI in a really simple and easy to use way. We've also just closed our VC-backed seed round, so we're already starting to hire and really accelerating our growth to get product market fit. If successful with X15, we would like to use the $150,000 to improve our product usability, increase customer impact, and drive more sales for 4.2. We want to improve our interface so it's more intuitive and customers can improve the impact that they get from using 4.2. We want to increase the number of instant integrations we have with third-party data sources, so it's a lower time for value for new customers when they join 4.2. And we want to spend more time understanding our users. This will help improve our brand and go-to-market strategies and help reach more small and mid-sized companies across Australia. Thank you for your time and look forward to answering any questions you have.
Hey guys, just testing that we've got you.
Yep, I'm here.
Still here.
Fantastic. We're going to throw straight over to John for our first question.
So thank you so much, Isaac and Ryan. Outstanding presentation again. And what I love about this one particularly is that you've got paying customers. So can you just talk to us about what utility they're creating, what feedback are they giving you to continue to iterate, and how are you using their advocacy to build the flywheel?
Yeah. Sorry, what was the first part of that question?
You've got paying customers.
Yeah.
What feedback are you getting?
Yeah, feedback.
Are you getting churn? How are you using it to improve product? And what advocacy are you using to build flywheel?
Yeah, so we're getting really good feedback from our paying customers. A lot of it is around the product and technical side. So it's around like what's the best JavaScript to put in a front end, very technical things, but also around what's the sort of most important features they want. So as we said, some of our learnings from our pilots was that people wanted much more on the outcome side. They were less worried about how we got there, as long as we do it well. And so we've seen in some of our first customers that within a month they've got 10x ROI and they've got double-digit percentage increases in the KPIs that they're targeting. And so it works for them as well. So with the advocacy part, we really want them to help spread the word as well. And some of them have said that.
Just to follow up very briefly, you talked about ROI. Is this focused around, more personalized pricing, more personalized offers? Can you talk about that very briefly?
Yeah, so we can do pricing, offers, products, and discounts. So anything that's you provide to your customer, it could be the sign-up price, it could be what basket of goods do you recommend to them after they've done a quiz, what's the discount you give to them if they're trying to cancel. So if you read the newspaper, if you press cancel, you get a discount. And if you read that newspaper every day, your likelihood to cancel is far different if you haven't read it for 3 months. So our AI picks all these things up and then provides that personalized best price recommendation, whatever it is, to each of those customers in real time.
Hi guys, Janie here. I love many things about this business, but one of them is the 5 to 15% increase in LTV for your customers. I just wanted to dig into that a bit further. What's the level of accountability that you're willing to have? You've obviously based that on a current customer base, and how do you expect that to move over time?
Yeah, so with some of our first customers, they're actually going a lot better than what those targets are. So I think that part's really good. In the end, the accountability is if we don't work, they get rid of us. So as essentially a software vendor, if we're not working, they'll flick us out of the door. The improvement over time, so we get both improvement within a company as we get more and more data and it gets better and better and better. But also the way we're building the AI incorporates federated learning. So it shares learnings between companies in a privacy and ethics preserving way. So different companies know how to handle difficult customers or whatever type of customers these are. And so they get to share those learnings, but in a privacy ethical way.
Great. Thank you.
Hey guys, question from me. Obviously, hard to sell the concept of AI to a small business. How are you thinking about how you market, what the commercial model is, and how you make it a sticky enough product that customers keep coming back and using it, not just doing a sort of one time?
Yeah, so we've learned don't sell AI to small business customers. What we sell is the outcomes. So it's really that bump up in LTV. And for them, it could be better retention, better basket size, more customers through those conversion funnels. So that's the thing people are resonating. But the nature of what it does is that it is quite sticky because you're dealing with customers across their life cycle. It's not a one-off engagement. They need to, customers change, they want different things. You might have different customers starting at different times. So the AI is using all these things in real time, and so it's a service which provides value every single day.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. You mentioned it was easy to set up. Could you bring that to life?
Yeah, so we can work with HubSpot segment within about 30 seconds. One of the things we're asking for funding is to increase the number of instant integrations we have with third parties. I'll let Ryan take on from here and can talk a little bit more around that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the modern ecosystems of online retail, a lot of them are API first. They're trying to integrate into this big ecosystem, and there's a lot of specialized players. And so what we're trying to do is to really live inside that ecosystem, but nail the reinforcement learning piece where we can offer the best things to different customers, and we can integrate with essentially any online retail tooling. And some of the ones on our roadmap are things like Shopify, Intercom, and like as I said, we've already got HubSpot and Segment, and we've got a big pipeline of work there.
Yeah, and for us, these integrations are really important because not only does it improve the user experience in signing on, they're also really good channel partners for us because each of these companies has big app stores. And then they've already got captive users and they basically have a specific problem around increasing their LTV. And then it's a really easy sell through those third-party app stores.
Hey, Isaac, it's Rochelle. Just a follow-up question to this, just to bring it to life for me. Can you talk me through an example of, and you don't have to use the client name or anything like that, but exactly what has happened or what you're surfacing up for them to drive some value?
Yeah, so we look at, I'll take a cancellation offer example. So we look at the different customers' behavior over, could be years. We look at what account are they on, what type of service tickets are they opening, how often are they engaging with the platform, when they engage, how intensive is it, what type of pages do they go. And within that, we create a really detailed bottom-up picture of each and every one of those customers. And we can look at the different cohorts to figure out what each of those customers really wants to do next. Then we use that to determine the best recommendation for them. So taking the cancellation offer, if they press cancel, we know the best deal to get them on. And that can be a financial deal, like a discount, or it could be an upgrade offer as well, or some other non-financial incentive.
And is that done real time, or is it done through like a mail follow-up contact, or both?
So the AI learns that the recommendations are done in real time. The AI learns also in real time, but in a different sync as when people are doing different engagements. So as you engage with the website, we'll learn that. You might not try to cancel for 3 weeks' time. When that learning then comes out as the discount or whatever it is.
Hey guys, there's an amazing startup in the Australian ecosystem called Vonto. Brings exceptional insights and actionability for small businesses by integrating with all of the common sort of e-commerce and SaaS services that an SME uses. Have you had any thought into whether you guys should be directly marketing your product? You mentioned channel partners, or whether you should embed yourselves or partner with someone offering broader sort of services?
Look, we haven't thought about it in that regard. For that specific company, I think there's a lot of the digital service coming out. So even if you think of some of the accounting software, because all these companies have to use some type of accounting software or even payment software. So that they're sort of real natural adjacencies for us, because they're non-competing, but everyone uses them, and we can work with them quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. Some of that data, if you're partnered with that channel distributor, you just get an automatic uplift from using that accounting package or whatever.
Yeah.
And guys, I was being a bit facetious. Vonto is one of our X15 ventures,
Yeah,
so you can meet them anytime.
They look great.
Yeah, no, I recognise it.
I think we are. Did someone just put up a hand? I think we're running up against time. So I think it's on me, guys, just to thank you. Thank you very much for your participation in the program. We've loved having you in it. It's a really inspiring proposition that you're bringing. You know, bringing the enterprise quality solutions to small business, and as John reflected, it's awesome that you guys have got some traction. So congratulations on the progress to date. We wish you the best of luck. We'll be making, the judging panel will make a decision this evening, and obviously we'll let people know as soon as possible. But in any case, I hope we really can build on the relationship we've gained from this program, and just thank you again for your time and for the pitch today, which was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks to the panel. It's been invaluable for us as well.
Yep. Thanks, Toby, and thanks to all the other companies as well. You were great.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go.
Thank you.
So there we go. I think we've reached the end of the road. For those that have stuck with us, thank you. You can see just, you know, what an inspiring sort of pipeline of ventures there are out there that are sort of innovating in this space. They were 5 of a much broader group of really exceptional founders and ventures that applied for the Xccelerate program. So thank you for watching. I'm sure there'll be lots of externals watching today. I'm sure there'll be lots of people from CommBank as well, given our relationship. It may spark ideas for you as well. So we'd love to hear them as well. So that's it for today. Next steps are, as that big slide says in front of you, stay tuned. We'll announce a winner probably this evening, but we'll keep you guessing on all of your favorite social channels. And so we'll pitch a winner of Innovate 21 and hopefully share a bit more about that winner tomorrow. So for now, I think it's good afternoon, and thanks again, everyone, and thanks to the panel for your wisdom, expertise, and questions, and of course to the team who's pulled Xccelerate together. It's been absolutely fantastic in really challenging circumstances that we're all getting used to, but thank you very much, team.